This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
The following episode of Charlotte Cooks is brought to you by Central Piedmont Community College and viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to this edition of Charlotte Cooks. I'm Chef Pamela Roberts, and today we are going to be exploring all about honey. We're going to be cooking with honey, and I'm going to show you how honey is harvested and where it comes from. We have bees here at the college that we raise. We've been raising them for years, and every summer we go and we harvest their honey. If you don't know anything about harvesting honey, you see these boxes stacked out in fields in different areas, and this is one of the frames where we pull our honey from. This is usually completely full of all kinds of frames like this. But since we've already pulled our honey, I wanted to save one so you could take a look at it and see what it's like. I've put this in the freezer, and the reason we put it in the freezer is because sometimes the honey, especially the ones that aren't capped yet, and you can see the ones that aren't capped yet. Here we've got caps all over the place, and you see some that aren't completely capped. Those ones that aren't completely capped still have a little bit of water in them. And if we were to take this and leave this out at room temperature like we normally leave honey at room temperature, what would happen is this honey would start to ferment because of the water content. So the bees are so smart and they're clever in that they know when the honey has released all the water, and then they'll come back and they'll cap this off. And it's really a very fascinating story. And we have an interview coming up with one of our local bee experts, who happens to be a colleague of ours, Chef Jim Bowen, and he's going to tell us all about how this actually happens. Now, when we have these frames, we pull these frames out of the boxes, and we make sure there's no bees on it. And then in order to harvest the honey, we take what we call a capping knife, and we run it along flat along this wood, and it removes all these wax caps, and then the honey starts flowing out. Now, each of these units are in here at a particular angle, and when the honey is spun out, they have to be put into the machine in a particular direction in order for the honey to spill out. But isn't this fascinating? We're going to actually use this at a party. We're going to take it and we're going to cut it and we're going to put it up, and the honey is going to drizzle out, and people are going to be able to come by and put a biscuit or a piece of fruit or something underneath the drizzling honey and get it as it's coming fresh out of what we call the beehive. Isn't that fascinating? You hear about bee propolis. Bee propolis is all this stuff that's stuck to the side. This is what the bees do during the winter to keep the cold temperatures out. And it's a lot like glue, and we have tools that we use to get in there and break it open so these things are easily removable. But this is only one part of our fascinating bee harvesting and honeys. So let's get into the kitchen and start cooking with honey, because I'm going to show you how to make honey face wash, how to make honey butter, honey mustard, and we got some cooking to do. So let's get busy. Sunday mornings are a great day to make biscuits, and some of the things that we like to put on biscuits are honey butter. Now, you can buy honey butter, but you can also make honey butter very, very easily, and this is how you do it. You're going to take some soft butter, and you're going to take some honey, and you're going to put it in a mixer. And I've got a mixer already started over here, and we're going to drop our butter in here, and we're going to whip it. Drop it down, lock it in. We're going to get it whipping, and we're going to drizzle in honey. Now, you can add as much honey as you want or as little honey as you want, but you've got to make sure that it incorporates really well with the butter. You don't want any honey dripping out of your butter. It's about incorporating it all together, which is why we whip it. And once this honey butter is all whipped together, it's done. That's all you have to do now, is just take it and put it into a bowl. That's all you do, is whip it together. Honey mustard's even easier. You don't even need a mixer. I'm going to show you honey mustard next. Let me put this into a bowl. Don't forget what's on your beater. Let's plop that in there. Now, guys, when you get this done at home, take it and put it into a nice little plastic container like this. Just fill it up label it honey butter and keep it in your fridge, and you're going to be able to use this until it's gone. So don't waste your honey butter, okay? Don't waste your honey butter. Honey mustard, let me show you. I'm going to take a little bit of mustard. We're going to take a little bit of honey. Now, I like to use Dijon mustard. If you like the yellow mustard, you can use the yellow mustard just fine. That's no problem. And what we're going to do here is we're going to add our honey to the mustard. Don't buy honey mustard anymore, guys. You have mustard in your refrigerator. You're going to have honey on your counter because you're going to learn you can't live without it. And you're just going to stir this up. Honey mustard. Once again, add as much as you like. Honey mustard makes a good barbecue sauce too. So you can use this anywhere. Once again, put it in a nice little plastic container and store it in your refrigerator. We got honey butter, we have honey mustard. Now, did you know that you can use honey as a medicine? Honey is one of those things that really helps with allergies. If you have allergies, then you will be wanting to consume your local honey that's made within about 30 miles of where you live, and you're going to notice that it really helps with pollen allergies, okay? So one of the things that you can make is what I call elderberry syrup. Elderberry syrup is made from elderberries, dried elderberries, and you can buy these online. If you have an elderberry tree, you can dry them out, save them. But you're going to take your half a cup of elderberries, you're going to take a cinnamon stick, and you're going to take 5 cloves, just 5, because you don't want them to be too strong. You're going to put 2 cups of water with that, and you're going to boil it, and this is what I've done here, and you're going to let it simmer. You're going to reduce that by 1 cup, so you only have about 1 cup of the liquid left. You're going to strain all this liquid out. Now, what I like to do with these elderberries is I throw them outside. The birds like to eat them. I like giving back to nature. Or if you didn't want to do that, you can always just take them and throw them away. And the next thing you do is you take 1 cup of honey, and you want to put this into a mason jar. Mason jar because they're heat resistant. You're going to throw this concoction in with the honey. You should have just about equal parts of the honey and the elderberry liquid. You're going to shake this up. And you want to put it in there while it's just a little warm so it helps dissolve that honey in there. But you want to shake it up really well until all that honey is dissolved. And this, folks, is your elderberry syrup. Now, elderberry syrup is a wonderful elixir for, it's a natural healer. And if you go into your health food store to buy it, you're going to say, wow, is that expensive? Make it yourself. What makes it expensive is the amount of honey that you need to use. So if you use honey for allergies, if you use honey for any kind of ailment you might have, then make your elderberry syrup. Keep it in the refrigerator. You can put this over ice cream. You could stir it into beverages, or just take it by the spoonful if you like to, because it is absolutely super, super delicious. It's a good thing. So there you go. You have your elderberry syrup, okay? That's honey as medicine. Now, you can take pure, straight old honey, just everyday old honey, wet your face, and wash your face with pure honey. It's a wonderful way to add moisture to your skin, and it cleans all the other stuff off your skin that may have accumulated for whatever reason. But now we are going to pay Jim Bowen a visit. He's our local bee expert, and he's going to tell us some things that are fascinating about bees.
Bees are an insect of the Apis family. Apis mellifera is the honeybee that we know it. It's the European honeybee. Well, bees are one of our multi-generational colonies, which means there are multiple generations living in the same colony. They are controlled not by the queen, which a lot of people think they are, but by the colony itself. So the colony is what controls what goes on with the queen and with the colony as a whole. In each of our hives we have 3 different types of bees. The one everybody's most familiar with is the queen. The queen is responsible for laying all the eggs. She's responsible for maintaining and creating a pheromone effect that keeps the hive one smell to make them all know that they've all one combined unit. Then we have the worker bees, and the worker bees are all females. They can't lay eggs, so the queen is the only one that can. The worker bees take care of the foraging, they take care of the hive sanitation, they take care care of protecting the hive. The third type of bee that we would have would be called drones. And in the spring, once the weather changes, and what will happen is they'll signal the queen to begin to lay eggs again. They'll force the queen into larger cells than the rest of the normal cells, and the queen knows that she needs to lay a fertilized egg in there, and those fertilized eggs will become males. And those are drones. And they only have one job, and that is to mate with a queen. The beehive has several different products that are used commercially. Probably the best known, of course, is our honey. And that is a concentrated flower nectar. So honey has to be a flower nectar. During the spring and during the nectar flow, we put on honey boxes. And they're brand new frames that allows them to build out brand new cells. And then they begin to collect all the excess nectar from all the flowers. That's where they end up depositing them. All of our worker bees are all involved in wax production. There's a series of glands under their abdomen that they will excite and extract with their legs. These little wax flakes, they'll take them up in their mandibles and they'll go ahead and manipulate it, and they'll build all the comb. The wax then is melted and filtered and can be bleached utilizing UV light. And that's a product that people will use in all sorts of different health and beauty products. The propolis is a product that is being harvested. Naturalists are using it as an antibiotic type of a product. It is the bee's antibiotic. What they end up doing is the first time they move into a brand new box, one of the first things that they do is they excrete propolis, and they'll coat the inside of the hive with it. Now, the propolis is a product of different plant gums. So they'll go to evergreens or regular plants and actually extract gums from the different leaves and the different types of plants. In the summer, it's sticky and messy. During the winter, it just seizes up and it just helps glue the whole box together so that the hive itself is protected so cold winds can't blow through it as well. Honey really has lots of different hues to it. Sourwood honey looks different than buckwheat honey, looks different than blueberry honey. The honeys all have different qualities to them. The nectars from each flower has different qualities to them as well. Our beekeeping group always, each year, has a honey tasting and a honey taste-off. And it's incredible how we line up all of our different honeys, and mine tastes different from the girls here in the backyard than somebody that lives 3 miles from here, just because of the flora that's available to them to collect nectar from. Honeybees are one of our most important pollinators in that there's what they call flower fidelity. Once they go to a flower source and they've identified an area that's got a flower, once they visit that one flower, they will only visit the same kind of flower while they're out on that particular nectar run. So as they move from one flower to the next, the pollen that they're carrying with them is the same exact plant. So this is why they're such efficient pollinators. Bees are responsible for, an estimate is at least 1/3 to 2/3 of the different foods that we actually have in our grocery stores. The biggest challenge that we have for bees, especially in our urban areas, are indiscriminate use of different pesticides and herbicides. You want to keep in mind that you use it, follow the directions. So you want to pay attention to the way that you use them, and items that are flowering that have active flowering going on right now or at any time during the year, it's not always a good idea to spray them as well. So that's when you have the majority of your pollinators dropping on top of them. If it'll kill a mosquito, it'll kill a bee. And if it's just sprayed indiscriminately, then we're getting lots of knockdown, and we're losing some of our urban beehives are being killed off just because of that reason.
Now we are going to move into using honey in a dish that we're going to make. And this is so simple. It's a wonderful dish that comes together very quickly and very easily, and it's super delicious. It's a honey soy glazed shrimp and broccoli, and this is how you make it. We're going to take some fresh ginger. I've already peeled it. We're going to take some garlic. We're going to take soy sauce, and I prefer using the low sodium soy sauce. I think that's a yummy way to go. We've got honey here. We're going to use our honey. We're going to take our microplane, and you can see how fine I've got the ginger already ground, but just take your microplane. You know, guys, if you know me, you know I love my microplane. And scrape off some of this from the back. Take a couple of cloves of garlic and put it in here. Now you want to make this early. okay? Now why you want to make it early? Because you want to take some of this and you want to marinate your shrimp in it, okay? If you didn't like shrimp and you wanted to use chicken instead, you absolutely could. The cooking time will be a little bit longer unless you cut your chicken into little bitty bits. It's going to be one of those things that it's personal preference. If you like chicken more than shrimp, or if you like shrimp more than chicken, doesn't matter. Can you use strips of beef? Yes. Can you use strips of pork? Yes. Just put it all in the marinade. So in our bowl here, right now we've got garlic and we've got ginger. We're going to take a little bit of honey. We're going to drizzle the honey in here. Yummy. There you go. And we are going to put some soy sauce in here. How much soy sauce? About 1/4 cup. All right, that's good. We're going to whisk this all together. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our marinade. This is also going to be our sauce that we're going to be using in our dish. So you pour a little bit of this over your shrimp. Now, when you're doing your shrimp, you do not want to have them swimming in the marinade, okay? And they're going to absorb just about an hour. Put them in a Ziploc bag, and they'll be ready to go, okay? Just an hour. Put them in a Ziploc bag, flip them back and forth, keep them in the refrigerator because they are shrimp. If you're not keeping them in the fridge, put them on ice, and then they're going to be ready to go. So here we go. This is what you do. Take a nice saute pan. Get your pan hot. Turn it on high. Get your pan hot. Now, if you've watched my show before, you know how I tell when things are hot. Why do we get it hot before we put food in it? Because if we get our pan hot before we start cooking, things don't stick as much. When you get to the point where you wouldn't put your hand down on the bottom of that pot, then it's time to add your oil. We're going to put the shrimp in here, and we're going to get it nice and a nice hot golden brown on one side, and then we're going to flip it over and get it nice and golden brown on the other side. And our trick here is not to overcook the shrimp. And when the shrimp are 3/4 of the way finished, we're going to take some broccoli, and our broccoli has already been steamed and cooked. We've cooled it down and put it on the side. We're going to add our broccoli to the dish so that we can actually heat it up again, and we're going to serve it with a delicious rice and a little bit of sauce on the side, and it's just so yummy. Are you ready? Let's cook. All right, a little bit of oil, just enough to cover the bottom of your pan, okay? Just like that. Now I'm going to take my shrimp and lay them in. You want to hear that sizzle. If you put your food into the pan and it's not sizzling, it's not hot enough, okay? And why am I doing it this way? Because in my bowl, my marinade is on the bottom, and I don't want to get this bottom of the pan wet just yet with all that marinade, okay? So I'm just going to lay these in here and get that brown going on that one side. Now, what do shrimp do when you cook them? They curl, okay? They're not going to stay long and lovely. They're going to curl up, and that's what shrimp do. That's just what they do. Now, any marinade you have left over, whether your marinade may be in your bag or in your bowl, you don't want to use this because it's got shrimp stuff in it. So you want to always, when you're seasoning your dish, you want to use fresh sauce in there. So just discard this marinade, okay? Now let's take a look and see, oh, they're not brown enough yet. Some are brown. And you have to remember, sometimes we're going to get the browning going because of the sugar content in the marinade, okay? So you can't just walk away from this, because if you do, you're going to end up overcooking your shrimp, and you may burn your shrimp. And we don't want burnt shrimp. We just want caramelized shrimp. All right. Oh, this smells great. I love ginger and garlic together anyway, but no matter what, oh my goodness. All right, so my shrimp are almost cooked. And if they don't all get golden brown on one side, hey, that's okay. It's better to have some done, some not done. But you don't want to overcook them, all right? So you see how they're all curled up. It's a sign they're cooked, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some broccoli. About 1.5 cups of broccoli is really all you need. You need 1 pound of shrimp for this recipe, 1.5 cups of broccoli, and cut it up into the nice pretty florets so it's all nice and pretty. And you know, honestly, guys, I really like the stalks of broccoli. I think stalks of broccoli have a wonderful flavor to them. They're delicious. They're just a little bit different than the floret, and you can cut them into shapes. All right, now, what I'm going to do is take the sauce that I made that's here on the side, and I'm going to add this to this pan. And all I'm going to do is cook this now until that's warm. Just heat that sauce up, heat that broccoli up. Now, you might have a tendency to say, let me get a lid and put a lid on it. Don't get a lid on it because we don't want to discolor our broccoli. If you put a lid on broccoli, sometimes it will turn it that nasty army green color, and we want it to stay nice and bright, okay? Go ahead and get a spoon and stir it up. Make sure that it's all done and your broccoli is all hot and your broccoli is coated with that beautiful, beautiful glaze. It's on the bottom, and now we're going to plate up. We're going to use a little bit of rice. You can use whatever rice you like. If you like brown rice, use brown rice. If you like quinoa, use quinoa. If you like noodles, use noodles. We're going to put some shrimp on the plate. We're going to actually take a couple shrimp on this side. I'm going to put one right up here on top. Stay there, little guy. There you are. Broccoli and some shrimp, and then we're going to get some of this delicious sauce to go with it. All right, so how quick was this? This was really easy, wasn't it? It turned out really fast. And this is one of those wonderful meals that you can make so quick and so easy on a weekday night when you don't feel like cooking. Shrimp is one of the original fast foods. All you have to do is cook some broccoli and you are ready to go. All right, here is your shrimp dish. Shrimp and broccoli with the soy honey glaze. We have our biscuits with honey butter. Yummy. I'm going to have to put something in that to put our honey butter up on our biscuits, aren't we? We've got some simple honey mustard that's delicious to make, very simple to do. And here's one more thing, a refreshing beverage that you can make from honey. What? This is what we call switchel. Switchel is one of the original vinegar-based beverages. In olden times, switchel was something that people used as a digestive because it really helps your digestive system. So how do you make this? You put equal parts of honey, fruit puree, vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and then you're going to fill the bottle up the rest of the way with water. So you can use any kind of puree you want. You can use strawberry puree, you can use mango puree, you can use even tart cherry juice that you can buy in the store. That's really just a lovely, lovely flavor as well. In fact, the old-fashioned tart cherry juice was the way original switchel was created. So, do you have to measure? No, equal parts. But make sure you have at least a third of the bottle that you can fill up with water, okay? Just take this, visualize it, about that same amount of this cherry juice, and we're going to take honey, and we're going to take apple cider vinegar. Now, if you choose apple cider vinegar, you want to get an apple cider vinegar that has what they call the mother in it. And the mother is going to, that's about equal parts right there. If you leave it in there long enough, and you let this sit out on your counter for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, it gets naturally effervescent, which is really nice. But you have to be really careful about opening it because the bottle will explode, just like if you were to take a soda bottle and shake it up really well, it will just explode just like that. It's phenomenal. So what you do when you get this all done, and I always use these kind of caps for switchel because it helps keep the effervescence in there. And once again, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, and then just let this sit on the counter for a day or two to get a little bit of effervescence. Put it in the refrigerator before you open it, and then all you're going to do then is just take it and put it in a glass with some ice, garnish it with a little strawberry, a little cherry, or whatever, and you have a delicious, refreshing beverage that is highly beneficial to your gut. It's going to make your gut health so much better, but it's so good on a summer day because it's just refreshing. So here we have with our honey, guys. We have switchel, we have honey butter, we have honey mustard, all made with our Greenway Gold honey. Now I hope you learned something today about bees. Thank you for watching this episode of Charlotte Cooks. Grab our recipes off of our website at pbscharlotte.org, and you can email me too anytime. I love to hear from my viewers. My email address is Pamela, P-A-M-E-L-A, .Roberts, R-O-B-E-R-T-S, at cpcc.edu. I love to hear from you, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time on Charlotte Cooks.
A production of PBS Charlotte.